Welcome to East Tennessee Pinball. Today I'm going to put in a replacement beacon and assembly for this high-speed getaway. I just got a hole up there. So I picked up this game in pretty good shape. It did come with the red dome that was down there. It's got the board here that goes from basically DC coming in and it makes an AC signal, and then this drops the voltage down a little bit. So it's got all the boards. I've got that connector coming off there, and everything else is missing. So I bought all the parts. I got them on the bench. I'm going to assemble them real quick on the bench, and then come back out here and see if wired up and see if it works. And all this nonsense, this was some add-ons. I ended up cutting them off. There's a whole bunch of extra lights. I'm gonna get rid of all this nonsense here in the future, but for now I'm gonna leave it until I get the rest of this thing working. That connector that goes on that second board, with the resistor board, I think they call it, that reduces the voltage. I got this bag of stuff from Tilted Pinball. In fact, they will sell the entire assembly as one unit for like, I want to say it's 250 bucks. But I ended up buying a new bulb, a couple connectors, and some pins. I got the bracket and little, I don't know, light stand from Marco's. I also got the motor from Marco's. The reason I got these from Marco's is they were a lot cheaper than Tilted Pinball. So anyway, I'm gonna just throw this together on the bench real quick, make some new connectors, because from here, you need either the male or the female, and then the male or the female other side goes on this motor so you can disassemble this thing when it's in the game. So I'm gonna start just by getting all this stuff out. Make myself a place to put all my goodies. Get a magnetic tray here. Don't need those little screws. I'm probably going to be missing a few bolts, I'm guessing. I don't know. We'll see. Well, that doesn't really want to come out. I'm going to just rip this bag open here. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to be missing those two little screws to put this motor in. But everything should just line right up anyway. And I can see that they do. I think they do. Let me see. Yeah, they absolutely do. So I just need to get, those look like I'd say those are number 8s. Let me go see if I can grab a couple. I'm gonna mount that first off. All right, after a little digging, I found a couple of screws. I think both these will fit. The holes, they're threaded, but they're not, I wouldn't say they're threaded great. It's still cutting some of the, I ran one of these in about halfway, and I thought it was the wrong size, but it's the right size. It's just, but it's acting like a die almost. It's cutting little tiny shreds off. This is one I've run in already. And I know it's too long, but it's the one I found. I just now put a little oil on them just so they'll run down a little easier. This, oh, I gotta get a Phillips for this one. Yeah, I like mixed hardware too. I don't think is that rolling in? Yeah, it's okay. Well, this one's going in easier. Maybe that other bolt was a little rough looking. I don't know. You know, sometimes you can be pretty stupid. All right, I found a couple screws. I think they will work. They are the wrong type of head. They're not, they're for recessed, but I think that's gonna hold it. Now if I can get them screwed in there or not. Before I start, I'm gonna put a little more oil, so I know it's gonna cut these things. hopefully, yeah, it's still pretty tight. Not as bad as before. I guess that nut is starting to get opened up a little bit. I think this one's not as bad. Yeah, that one goes right in. They're still sticking up. They're pretty proud. They still may be too tall. I may have to take them off and put a washer underneath them or something. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. Oh, joy. I've got washers. Do that or cut it, and I don't want to have to do that. And I mean, I've just scoured the earth for, this is number 3, and it's not the machine thread, so it's a little bit coarser than the machine thread. And I don't have many of them. Let's see if I can find some small washers. Most of my washers have more perimeter. It's gonna be hard to find them that'll fit right in there. I mean, I could do it, but I don't want to dig that long. So I just got a little nut that's oversized to put it in there. It's just gonna act like a bushing. And it's gonna look funny, but it's gonna work. Now I think that will probably clear. No, I can't get it over. Well, I guess I can. I don't want to yank on it and strip the gears out of that thing. But I'm pretty sure that's going to do it for us. Not the prettiest. Okay. So I can set that on and we're clearing. So I'm gonna get an Allen wrench, tighten that up. All right, I think is that turning or is that just too small? I can't even see it. I think this damn thing is metric. Geez, I think it is metric. I'm gonna have to go get some metric wrenches. All right, so I got that tightened up. I ended up putting, you see these are sticking up a little less than they were before. I put some bigger nuts on here, thicker, because it was clearing, but it was just barely clearing. So that's all put together. I'm going to hook on one of these, and I've got a set of male and female pins. I got 3 of each of them. And so I'm gonna crimp them on and put this on there, and then I'm gonna do the other side. I'm gonna do the opposite. So we'll have a quick connect, something looks like about like, you know, about like that. Well, these go like that. So it's going to be about like that, and that way in the future everybody wants to take this out and put it in another game, they can do that real easy, just like they did last time. I'll start with this one. Just strip back these wires a little bit. Well, that was plenty. I guess it really matters which way it goes. I don't know what the convention is, if the male is supposed to go out or whatever. Anyway, I think this is the male side, I believe. If I'm messing up, that's going to be a pretty bad mess up. So, hit my crimper here. I'll do one more. And I'll just use the outer two, why not? Damn it if I didn't put that in backwards. Great. Well, let's see if I can get it out of there. I think that's the one. Yeah. Little tool is handy. Okay. And if you're an idiot, they're pretty helpful. There we go. And there we go. All right, so let me crimp on these two. Those are a little long. Snip those off. And those are little bitty wires. They're going to be a little too big for these pins. So I'm going to crimp them and then I'll crimp them again. I can't even get that in there. Start. So my concern, that wire is in that middle crimp there. So I'm gonna just choke this thing down to the next size down and crimp it again. Because it's such a little small wire, make sure I'm making good contact there. I kind of over crimp the insulation side, but that's all right, I think. Yeah, these won't even fit in there. Yeah. Spread them, bend them in a little bit. There we go. Whoops. I may have. That's why I got 3 of them, because I almost lost that one. All right. And this is going to be AC coming in, so it shouldn't matter which way it goes. I mean, it matters which way, but like which one of these orange ones goes with which one of these strap ones. Make sure I'm not screwing up here. That's going to be like that, and that's going to be like that, so. All right, so that's going to plug on the board. So this is all done, with the exception of wiring up the light, and I'm not exactly sure how where that wires up to. I mean, it comes on the same time that the rest of this does, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at the schematics for the game and figure out, or maybe there's another wire in the game or something. I don't know. I know it's synonymous with this. I'm assuming it's using the same AC voltage, but Django's just like, I don't know if y'all can, yeah, you're upside down now, but he just, I don't know what, oh, look at the time, 10:06, 10 o'clock, it's time for him to go have his morning constitution. He's ready. All right, we'll go, Django. Pulled up the manual for this, and I'm sure glad I did this after I got those wires crimped, because there's that connector I put on there for the motor, but there's another set, and they are zip tied to the back of this, go to the light bulb. So I need to pull out the motor side of this, pull those crimps off and put on some new crimps. I've only got one extra that I ordered. I think I've got some other laying around here somewhere. I've got to dig them out. So I'm gonna have to re-crimp this side and add some wires up to the bulb. Nice. All right, so like I said, this side, and that's the female side, I don't have a tool to get that out, which really sucks. I don't think this will go around it. I need one that's, so this is gonna suck. I'm gonna start by clipping. Well, I was gonna say clip it off, but I wonder if I can jam that all the way through and then cut it. I think I can do that. That's what I'll do. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna get this one to do the same. Need a pick or something. Well, if worse comes to worse, I've got 2 holes open now, so I can just, well, then I have to move the other one. But the other one I've got the tool for, so I can't. Yeah, already put a little split in. Let me go get a better tool. So there's little tabs in here that keep it from going too far. And there's tabs on this side that keep it from going backwards. If I can just get them. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna keep those handy so I can see if I can find something that'll fit it. I've got some. That's the same thing, so I just gotta cut those off. And you want to leave some of that tab because that's what keeps it from going too far, I believe. I'm not exactly sure where to cut it, but I'm gonna try that. I'll do one more. Okay, so now I need to get some wire, solder it up to the top of here and run it down. So it's about that long. I got my soldering iron heating up. I'll get these things stripped back. This is my fine solder, but it'll work. I'd rather have a bigger strand. Just gonna get a little solder on both these. Tin up the wires. Geez, I cut my wire a little short. Yeah, I'm just gonna redo that because that sucks. I hate having it compromised like that. It'll just take a second to fix that. Measure twice, cut once, right? Get 2 of those wires in this little tiny connector there. So I'm not even gonna crip it to the first step on my tool where it kind of holds it in there. I'm just putting a little pressure. Well, need about 3 sets of hands to do this. Let me start over. First off, I'm gonna strip that back just a little bit more. Gotta get those two so they're one's tapered down, one's tapered up, so they'll go in, so they'll slide like that, so they'll slide in a little bit better. It's always a pain to get two of these in one fitting. So that should maybe work. I think I got it. That looks good. Okay. I'll do this one more time here. That looks good. That's the wrong one. That's the male. There it is. Okay. That would have been a real pain. So I'm going to splay these, compress them just a little bit. But no more than absolutely necessary. So I get these two wires in there. Black, and I don't know. I don't know if the orange one went in. I think it did. I guess we'll find out. Well, if the black one's out now. Let me try it again. I think they're in. Oh, geez, something's in. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of, is into, well, no, it's not. What the heck? I didn't do right. See, it's off-centered. Let me try this again. Okay, I just took it off, put on another one. That looks good. We'll put it on the two outer one. Yeah, I was afraid I might have left those too long, and I did. Yeah, that's the factory one, or the one that came with the kit. No, it's not. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. I think that's in. If I can find the other piece. I'll get some zip ties. And clean this thing up a little bit. Huh. I think it's supposed to go through that hole. Damn it. Well, my soldering iron's still hot, so I'll take care of that real fast. Okay. Now, we'll zip tie it again. Maybe one more just to make us feel good. So we're just gonna plug in the machine and everything's gonna work, right? Huh. We'll see. All right, I don't have that bolted onto the top of the cabinet, but it's just setting in there. And I got that plugged into the resistor board, so it's all wired up. Turn it on. I don't know if that siren comes on or the beacon comes on when you first boot up. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure there's a beacon test. And that's what I'm going to be looking for right now. So, let's see. Test. Maybe they're not a beacon test. Maybe it's just in the solenoids. SC time test. I have no idea what that is. Okay, well. Solenoid test. Okay, well, we're just going to have to go through them all. Oh, Mars lamp, is that it? There it goes. All right. Cool. So it should repeat, so it should come on again. There it goes on again. So the bulb comes on. That's kind of weird. The bulb lights up just momentarily before the rest of it. You just got to build some, I don't know. The voltage, whoa, that one didn't. That one kind of like didn't last very long. I hear a ding, 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 ding. It's not rubbing at the top. I don't know what that dinging noise is. Maybe sounds like something's hitting, but I don't. I'm gonna take it off, see if something's hitting. I hear a ding, ding, ding. And maybe it's a little anti-reversing thing in the motor. There's a little pawl that makes it go one direction on a lot of these motors, and it could be that's hitting a stop or something inside of it. I don't know. It's hitting my zip tie right there. So I'm gonna move that zip tie. We all saw the Mars lamp working just a second ago, and it was making a noise. It was hitting. I cut that little zip tie off, threw it back in there, and now it's dead. So the only thing I did was unplug and plug in that connector there. So now I gotta figure out why it's not working. It says Mars lamp repeating. If I go with the other tests, like the next one, well, one that's populated. So they're working, but the Mars lamp is not. Oh, there it came on, but it's not spinning. I'll tell you what, I think. That light bulb coming on and not spinning makes me think it's just not getting enough voltage, like it's getting partial voltage, or maybe that, I don't know. I'm gonna take that bulb out. Let's try that. That's supposed to be the bulb for it, but it's not the same one from, I mean, this is like the automotive 1156. That's not the bulb that they say. So this may be, I don't know. I'm gonna go back in that test menu and we'll try it again without the bulb in there. And now we got nothing. I don't know. I'm gonna try to figure this out and I'll get back with you. Should have kept filming. I wiggled that connector and that thing started working. So this board here, I get cold solder joints or bad connection there, but now it's working. I can't get the bulb in there because it's spinning. Let me just turn it off real quick here. There, we stopped it. Nothing's bolted down yet, so it's kind of hard to get in there with one hand. Hold on. So if I hold that connector there, it works. Well, sometimes it does. Anyway, there. Those header pins are bad right there. That's why it's only getting enough power to light the bulb and not do the motor. I'm not gonna let it go like that for too long because probably not good for that motor to sit there just kind of like struggling. So I'm gonna pull this board, probably pull this board too, get both of them out of there and go through them real quick. So I've got the board on the bench and I'm positive if I wiggled that connector there, I can make it turn on and off. And I know the game was cycling, but even among the games that are cycling, it wouldn't work unless I put a little pressure on that header pin. The solder joints don't actually look that bad. I'm gonna go over all of them here real quick and maybe look at the connector that's plugged in there. I don't know. So I got that board back in there, and before I put these in there, I was like, I've got all this extra monkey bullshit on here. I'm gonna just disconnect some of this stuff and plug it directly in. And that could have been the problem the whole time, was I had an extra 15 connectors that's running through. So let's try that. All right, we're booting up. There we go. So it's lighting but not moving, which again tells me it's kind of like it's lighting but not moving. Brand new motor. Maybe it's just in a bad spot. That sucks. You gotta wiggle it to get it to go. That's the way they do when they start to fail. They do like that. Oh shit, that sucks. Maybe I'll let it run for about 24 hours, see if I can really wear it out. I really don't want to take it apart and put it back together again. I just want it to work. Nope, it's a bad spot. So now it's not gonna go. Gonna try to take that bulb out of there real quick. I'm not that fast. Okay, I stopped it. So run it again. It's running faster. Oh, no, we're not on the test anymore. There we're okay. And this is the bulb that they sold with the deflector for this, but I don't think it's one for the catalog. So I think I do have the one for the catalog. I think this may be pulling too much current. And not getting enough current for the motor. That's my thought, because I could tell it's moving a little bit faster, and it's like when it's on, it's like you hear it like really, it's more powerful now. So let me go see if I can find that other bulb. I've got this bulb 1683 Getaway Beacon. That is the one from the catalog. So I'm gonna throw this in there, and oh, it stopped working while I was in the other room. So yeah, I think it's a bad motor. Wow, it's maybe I don't think the test time's out. Not going. Yeah, that motor sucks. Well, I'll send it back to Marco's. They've got good, they have great customer service. I'll say that. I don't think it'll be a problem. But that means I get to redo that there again, or just cut and crimp do a butt splice or not a butt splice, I wouldn't do that, but cut that and solder in, like, well, it's the orange one's right there, instead of having to redo that connector there. Well, so if you've got a beacon, buy your motor from some place at least that where you can return it easily. I guess that'd be my suggestion. So I let that lamp and motor run for about 20 minutes, and it ran for 20 minutes, but it didn't run for 25 minutes. And I was like, I'm gonna have this on location, which means every time I come, it'll be stuck, and I'm not gonna go up there and redo it. So I've gone rogue here. Those are 1 ohm resistors on the bottom, and I have added to each of them a 10 ohm resistor in parallel, which reduces the resistance by about 10% and boosts the voltage by about 10%, the current by about 10%. And let's see if this works. I almost went with the 5 ohm, boosted by about 20%, but I figured I'd do this because ultimately now we're pulling more current from the other board. It's maybe not rated for it exactly, but 10%, that's within tolerance pretty much of most resistors. 5%, 10%. It's not that much, and maybe that'll be just enough for keep this thing running. These were never reliable. I mean, I guess they were just undersized at the beginning, of the little motors suck. I don't know, but I'm gonna try this. So I got the test running. I went ahead and put the proper bulb, the 1156 for the Getaway. It's brighter, and I'm gonna let this thing run for an hour or so and see what happens. It ought to be fine. And if it's not, then I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. I was talking to Steve about this whole thing, and because I was asking if he had all these parts, and he said he didn't. And he was saying, yeah, the other thing to do is just go on Amazon and buy yourself a 12-volt beacon and stick it underneath the dome, because they sell them for like 20 or 30 bucks. Hook it up to 12 volts, and you're good. And considered doing that, but I was like, ultimately I'll probably end up selling this at some point, or somebody's going to sell it. And having the original hardware with the original, it's going to make it well worth the money to spend to get it fixed. But I do want it to work. And those motors they're crappy. They were crappy from when they shipped these things out originally, and I guess the replacements are about the same quality. But I have boosted the voltage up by 10%. Oh, there it goes. It's stuck. So, yeah, great. Oh, and now, it's still lighting. Okay. See if I wiggle it. Nope. Yeah. I'm tempted to take that motor apart, take the shell off of it, and there's a little pawl that makes that, because the motor doesn't know which way to go, left or right, but there's a pawl that keeps it from going one way and forces it to go the other way. And I think sometimes it tries to go the wrong way, hits the pawl, and then instead of reversing, it just stopped. Well, it started up again. Usually it had never done that before. If it stalls out and then restarts, I'm okay with that, I can deal with that, but the reliability probably isn't there. I'll put that 1683 bulb in there, and it definitely looks happier. It sounds happier. I may go with this. I'm gonna let this thing run for 30 minutes or an hour, and if it keeps going, then I'm gonna call this good. I'm gonna leave the 1683 bulb in there, and that's gonna be the end of this. So it was running. I saw a flash on this board. I thought it blew a fuse. I swear I thought it, and it stopped running, and now it started running again. I think it blew that fuse. I saw the flash, and it does look discolored in there. I don't know what that goes to. If we could see. I'll figure it out. Just measure that fuse. It is indeed blowed. That's F103, which up here says solenoids 25 to 28. This is still running. It was in the test. I was just running the test. I was standing here. I saw the flash, and I knew it was one of those, or I was pretty sure it was, and it is that one. But I don't know what solenoid was trying to run when I'm in the lamp test other than the lamp, the Mars lamp. So, but the Mars lamp is still working, which kind of, that confuses me a little bit. I guess we could see what's on solenoid 25 to 28, get out the manual and see what that's supposed to be running. It's not running it anymore, that's for sure. Well, so solenoids 25 through 28, they're the enable for the low power. I don't know exactly what that means, but 27 is the revolving lamp. The revolving lamp is still working and that fuse is dead, so what in the heck? I have no idea. And I don't know what enable 1, 2, and 3 are doing. When you go through the solenoid test, they don't make any noise. And Django does not like the guy that just pulled up in a pickup outside, making all kinds of Chewbacca noises. It's all right, Django. So, I don't know. Come back in here. It's been about 10 minutes and it's stalled out again. Give it a little wiggle. I don't know. Maybe it's just a bad motor. Could maybe swap out that cap there. I haven't done that. I should have done that when I pulled the board out. I'm about tempted to just go through this. I really don't understand this at all. How is it even running? Unless that's wired up to the, well, it's doing the right. It says Mars lamp, it's running the Mars lamp. I don't know. I mean, this wiring was all messed up, had all the extra crap hooked up to it. It seems to be working, except it blew the fuse and that's supposed to power it and it's still powered. So maybe there's something else going on. I don't know. I think that's drawing power for this LED display, as is that one's. Yeah, that one's hooking up to that board there. So I don't know. It's perplexes me. First thing I'm gonna replace the fuse, and or maybe I'll go through the solenoid test and see if there's anything that's not working. I ran through all the tests and they're all working, so I'm really confused. I'm gonna swap that fuse out and I'll see if it's the right size, and put in another one. Pull that fuse out. It's 3 amp, it calls for 3 amp, but it calls for 3 amp slow blow, so it could have just been a rush current. So I'm gonna put a 3 amp slow blow in there, and maybe I'm gonna do that, and I'll start there. I put in that slow blow fuse, and motor seems happy. I see it's happy. It's not like struggling. Oh, you see that lit for a second. What the heck? Occasionally it does that. It like glitches out. I was gonna say that it's been it did like, I watched it like do 10 cycles and it did 6 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Except for the one that you saw where it just kind of did like a half one. And that one didn't do a full 6, I don't think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Almost 6. Oh, and now we're stuck again. Wonderful. Maybe that little glitch is where it didn't start and it's the end of one. I don't know. I'm gonna let it run for 25 minutes and 30 minutes and see. If I come back and it's running 30 minutes, I'm about tired of messing with this. I'm gonna call it good. Stuck again. So I pulled the trike board, that cap there, which is basically the power cap, I've realized. So you got the 48 volts coming in, you got the track, and then that C2 is on the 20, no, wait, it's the other way. Okay, so that's on the 24 volts coming in. So that's powering the 48, powering the track to go the 48 volts out. So anyway, but that is the filter cap. So I am going to swap that with the fresh one, and I'm gonna put in a slightly bigger one too. It calls for, well, one that's in here is 100 UF by 100 volts. I think I'm gonna jump up to 150 and see See if that helps our issue. I just measured the capacitance of this, and it was only measuring 50, so maybe that's the issue. There's this little starve for juice, so I'm swapping that out and see if that helps our situation. So I put in 150 by 200 there. The other thing I noticed is that there, which is the negative side of the diode, was just barely soldered in. In fact, I'm not sure it was making good connection. I don't know what that's going to exactly, but it's soldered in well. So I'm gonna grab lunch, and then I'm gonna throw this in the board and see if we are any better off. I'm guessing probably not, but it's an easy try. It's been about 30 minutes and the lamp is still running. So I think swapping out that filter cap on there was key. I don't know if I needed to go to a bigger one or just replacing it with one that wasn't running at 50%, its actual capacity. In any case, I still have the wrong bulb in there, the low current bulb from the high speed. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can run the proper bulb, the one, this one here, the 1156, and see if it'll run for 30 minutes. If it does, then I'm absolutely done. I'm gonna mount that to the top and I'll put the dome on it, and then it can break. It's certainly a lot brighter with that 1157 in there. Oh, and it's stuck. It can't handle it. I can't do that much juice. Well, so I'm putting in the 1683, I think it is. Yeah, 1683, and I'm gonna leave it like that because this no count. And I was just thinking to myself, what this thing needs, it's a good sized cap on the back side of this resistor board. So it's got a punch to get this motor started, almost like a starting capacitor on your compressor for your AC system. So this is just kind of the reservoir of voltage, of DC voltage to go to the AC, and then the AC gets cut down. So anywhere on the other side of the AC having a big cap, particularly on the other side of the resistors board, maybe that would probably help that motor get started. I think that's probably what it needs. If anybody ever wants to rebuild one of these, I'd say, yeah, throw a cap in there, because these motors are finicky. They don't have quite enough juice to get them going. Not when you've got this bulb in parallel with it. Anyway, not with this motor anyway.